Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I am indeed going to be reacting to the new Ena5 event, Kijidake no Tede Watashi Natsu, which translates to "With Wounded Hands We Are." Now this video will mostly be spoiler free, because the event is currently going on and I know most of you probably haven't read the story yet. However, when the event ends and the commission comes out, I will be making an actual analysis video, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so that you don't miss it. We are so close to getting to 3,000 subscribers, and it would be greatly appreciated if we could get there before the end of the year. Anyway, let's get right into my reactions. Before we talk about the cards, I do actually just want to comment on the event announcement image, because there are just so many hidden Easter eggs that I'm sure most of you probably didn't notice. Firstly, I think the event name, "With Wounded Hands We Are," seems to be a slight nod to the event name of Mizuki, "Where Does the Forward Path Lead?" It's perhaps suggesting that Ena has had to physically move through the forward path in order to actually reach Mizuki, which in turn causes her hands to become wounded, thus highlighting her undying determination to reconnect with Mizuki. You might also notice the fence in the background of the image, which is a recurring theme throughout Ena and Mizuki's relationship, as it highlights that there is a sort of boundary between the two, a barrier, just like in Ena's card in Mizuki 5, that separates the two. The other thing that immediately stands out to me from this image are the butterflies. We first see this motif in Mizu 2, actually, where a single butterfly seems to be flying away, symbolizing Mizuki's loneliness. And this motif is then further developed in Mizu 5, where we see the pink butterfly trying to fly away from the brown one. However, in Ena5, we can see that Mizuki's butterfly is instead cautiously approaching Ena's butterfly, symbolizing that she is ready to reveal herself to Ena. My interpretation is that the butterflies are a metaphor for the transformation that Mizuki is going through, from a larva into a beautiful butterfly, just like how she has become a girl despite being born male. You can also see the blooming flowers in the image, a direct contrast to the buds mentioned in Kitty and Baki no Hana respectively. If we take the flowers to be a metaphor for the secret that Mizuki holds so dearly to herself, perhaps this represents that she is finally ready to reveal it to the rest of Nightcourt. Alternatively, we can see that the flower is clearly a sakura. This can perhaps be seen as a reference to Mizu 1, Sacred Distance. However, in Japanese cultures, cherry blossoms also represent love and affection, but also rebirth and new beginnings. The rebirth reading once again plays on the idea that Mizuki is undergoing a beautiful transformation, as referenced in her 5th commission, Baki no Hana, which literally translates to "flower of transformation." This also links to the butterflies, symbolizing that by revealing her secret to the rest of Nightcourt, Mizuki can truly become herself. But another interpretation of new beginnings is, well, the marriage reading. So does anyone else hear those harmonious wedding bells chiming? No? Just me? Anyway, jokes aside, let's actually move on to Ena's card. The first thing that I noticed was actually the lighting. The fact that we once again see the yellowy, warm light of dusk and twilight. This is important because we have seen this exact lighting in 3 other cards already, in ID Smile, in Lower, and in Baki no Hana. And now once again we see it in Ena5. Obviously, twilight represents the boundary between day and night, suggesting that Mizuki is perhaps straddling the line between the light and the darkness. This once again reminds me of the Misu Ena Kitsuna rank title, Crossing the Boundary One Day. It is this fence, this barrier, that Ena now fights through in her desire to reach Mizuki and bring her back into the light. We also see Ena holding on to Mizuki's hand, reminding that she will forever stay by Mizuki's side, no matter what happens. Moving on to the trained card, we see the absolute abundance of Sakuras as Ena reaches out with her outstretched hand, beckoning Mizuki to come closer. We can see the bitterness of almost having Mizuki leave them, mixed in with the quiet content that Mizuki has decided to reconnect with her instead of running away. It is perhaps a smile of acceptance, of gentle warmth, as if she is welcoming Mizuki back. This greatly contrasts the melancholy of her card in Mizu 5, where she seems to be much more desperate as she clutches onto the ribbon. We also see the butterfly motif on her dress once again, signaling a period of transformation and new beginnings. Interestingly, we also see a ring on her hand. So once again, does anyone else hear those harmonious wedding bells chiming? And that brings us on to the other half of this reunion. In Mizuki's untrained card, we see her finally having the courage to be confronted by Ena, to actually talk to her instead of just running away like she usually does. We see that she is finally ready to tell Ena her secret, fulfilling the promise that she made in What Lies Behind, What Lies Ahead. And when we look at her trained card, we see such a big contrast to her card in Mizu 5. We see a genuine smile as she fully opens up to Ena for the very first time. The white color imagery powerfully represents a sense of purity, highlighting a shift from her card in Mizu 5, where the specks of red tainting her dress represented the curse of being born male. We once again see the butterfly motif, alluding to the picnic event all those years ago. It is also worth noting that this is the first time we've had a Mizuki 4-star in an Ena-focused event, symbolizing Ena's acceptance of Mizuki. What is even more interesting, however, is perhaps her hairstyle in this card, which is identical to her sister Yuki's hair, perhaps highlighting that without her sister's continued support, Mizuki would never have had the courage to come out to Ena. It is a card that's calm and gentle, fragile like the Sakuras, but simultaneously also beautiful and ethereal. Moving on to Meiko's 4-star, aptly named What I Should Do, we see an almost desperate Meiko. This is very much a direct contrast to her previous stances, where she mostly just stood aside and did nothing as she watched Mizuki's relationship with Ena progress. This really does link to that one line in the event story, and slight spoilers alert, but Meiko says to Mizuki, "If you want to run away, then go ahead, but this might be your last chance to face things." Her presence in Mizuki's character development is absolutely vital, as she finally attempts to actually do something about Mizuki's situation. Moving on to her trained version, we are reminded that she has not had a Night Court 4-star in almost 3 years, since her first and only one was an ID Smile. Yeah, slight rant here, but why did Meiko get like no 4-stars for so long? Kaito had his second Night Court card before Meiko got hers. This makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Anyway, someone actually pointed out to me that Meiko's hairstyle is also extremely interesting, because it appears to be a cross between Ena's and Mizuki's default hairstyles, and I just think that is such good symbolism, as she seems to be the person who has managed to bring Mizuki and Ena together once more. Now we get to Kanade's 3-star. In the Untrained, we see her just sitting rather drearily in front of her computer, and I am immediately reminded of her line in the event where she says, "Amiya's voice has been part of our routine during work. It feels kinda lonely without it." If Kanade represents the entirety of Night Court as a whole, I think this image really captures the state of Night Court after Mizuki's disappearance. Lonely and dark. And then we have Kanade's trained guard. And honestly, if there is a card that should be a 4-star instead of a 3-star, this is it. I must say, I've never really been a Kanade fan, but this image of her just sitting in a field of blossoming flowers and staring off into the distance creates such a serene atmosphere. There is this calmness and quietness mixed in with the hopefulness that all the members of Night Court, Kanade, Mafuyu, Ena, and of course Mizuki, will all eventually heal from their wounds. Last but not least, we have Mafuyu's 2-star card. There isn't much to say here except for once again the butterflies on her dress and the floral motif. It really does feel like the artists are leaning very heavily to this idea of blooming, signifying a time of growth and development, and honestly, I love it. Anyway, that was my reaction to all the new cards in Ena5. This is probably my favorite set ever, just because the cards are so pretty and so ethereal that I just immediately fell in love with them. Especially with the fact that Mizuki and Ena's cards match so well together that it just looks like a wedding set. And I will definitely be pulling for them when they come to the global server in 1 year's time. Also, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below about all of your theories and interpretations. I read every one of your comments and I really do appreciate all of them. Like I said at the start of the video, I will likely make a follow-up video on this once the commission releases and I can analyze the lyrics. But that is all the time I have for now, so thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time.